Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watcher of Realms video. Today we're gonna be talking real quick about the new poison team that is coming up, whether you should summon for them, and even if you don't get Nastya, whether these units are still gonna be helpful. So the game has kindly put together this preview. So other than Nastya and Numera that's coming this weekend, we also have Vaughn in the mix. Vaughn and Numera are both dual faction. They are both Piercer and Marksman, which is Piercer and Esotericist. One is a fighter, one is a marksman, but they are both going to fit really well, even if you don't have Nastya, in my opinion, and you'll see why in a bit. So most poison team currently belongs to the Esotericist order, primarily dealing continuous magic damage to poison damage over time effects. So there's a couple of debuffs that they do. You can see right here. So even if you don't have Nastya, Numera still has damage reduction, which is very useful for Guild Boss, for Samra. All those content you actually need constant damage reduction going on. So even if you don't have, Nastya in the mix, I think if you're running a Piercer team, Numera is still going to be awesome there. And she's still going to be very useful for the damage reduction. And you can run her in a Piercer team alongside with Hex. Of course, she might not do as much damage because of the lack of acute poisoning, magic resistance reduction, and also the fact that there's not so much poison stacks coming out from just Numera herself. I don't think it's enough to maximize her damage. You definitely need Nastya in the mix. And for Vaughn, same situation. He gets Shield Break, which is similar to Setram, but Setram doesn't actually. I don't think Setram is as friendly to use. I do think you need A5 for him to break through the shields reliably. Vaughn, on the other hand, could be very different. You can also see that he can inflict two types of poison. What this means, from what I've seen from the test server results, is that he inflicts two different stacks of poison, but they're both the same types of poison in terms of damage. It's just that there's two separate stacks. And that means that he's gonna be able to, actually synergize really well with Numera in terms of the poison stacks that he can deliver. And on top of that, he also has offensive dispel, which is very useful for Samra. So if you do have Lucius, you do have Lyra, you're a new person starting out, for sure you wouldn't have Kigiri, because Kigiri's banner was, quite some time ago. Then these two units are still going to come in very handy. You don't need them just to synergize with Nastya. You could still use them in a Piercer team for sure. And yeah, so you can see poison teams, all of them have, magic resistance penetration increase on Vaughn, and then Nastya has that magic resistance reduction, and then Vaxera has the same thing. But yeah, you guys get the idea. I do think that, even if you don't get Nastya in this banner, the utility coming up from Numera and Vaughn, it's both gonna be really helpful in other areas of the game. And also the fact that we still have Vaxera that's coming, I'm not sure if she'll be good enough to contest in Boris Codex. Against the whales, definitely not, but to get a triple S score, maybe she's gonna be good enough. So yeah, you can see right here already, like what I said, Araka is in the mix as well. I think they place Araka because she does poison as well, but I do feel that, if you want to maintain DPS, then Eova might be a better option here. Cyrus, a bit iffy. I think if you're still in need of a Esotericist slot, maybe. But of course, if you're looking at all out poison in Boris Codex, then Vaxera is going to be a lot of a better choice. So yeah. And you can see right here as well, Abyss 1, all the heroes of the poison team deal high magic damage, and then Vaughn also gives the shield break effect, and also there's, Numera reducing damage, and Toxic Surge, which is activated during Numera's ultimate, can help to break the shield. Then there's vulnerability, magic resistance reduction effect. All of this is gonna be different pieces of the puzzle coming together to make that area more, to make that part of the stage more easy for you to manage with. And then in Samra, same thing. Both Numera and Nastya have stun. Nastya is at A1, but I think with both of their stuns, you can actually inflict 12 stacks, and that will remove the need to actually have Cornelian in your team. Because these are very reliable units, and both of them deal quite some amount of magic damage as well. Not like in the case of, Helga, where, she does a lot of stuns, but she doesn't actually do damage herself. And then there's also a damage reduction, and then there's true damage in Nastya and Numera, which is helpful for the shield phase, and Vaughn's ultimate can also dispel Samura's buff, and yeah, the damage reduction effect in AG's phase. And yeah, this one is what I mentioned in my previous video, Nastya having the immunity and all that. So even if you ignore this, Numera herself does do quite a bit of stuns. Most people have Wukong at A5 as well. So these two units alone are still going to be very helpful when it comes to, being prepared for the different phases in Samura, especially Vaughn with the Dispel, the offensive Dispel that's going to help against the shield. I don't think this part is as important. If you have Halloween, you can just completely ignore the fact because poison can be dealt by Halloween anyways. And then last but not least, we have Immortal Codex. It's funny how they are including a lot of sticks in here. There's multi-strike attack, but it's like 6 hits from Nastya, 7 hits from 6 hits from Numera as well. So I'm not sure why it's added here because I don't think the poison taking counts towards shield breaking. But the Arbiter of Frost definitely true damage is a part of both Numera and Nastya's kit. I do think that even if you just have Numera alone, I think with an Esotericis team, you could still do pretty decently Arbiter of Frost. But of course, we can only test that when this codex opens up again. So yeah, in conclusion, we've run through the use cases. Should you summon for these units coming up this weekend? My answer is absolutely yes. You should summon for Numera no matter what, because she looks amazing. I don't think that, she's going to be useless, even if you do a Nastya. I think that there's still going to be some use cases for her, especially for newer folks. If you have Volca for damage reduction, that's great, but you do have to bear in mind that the damage reduction from Volca is not permanent. It's time-based, it's stack-based with her passive. Numera is just like Alistair and Init. It's just going to be a straight-up damage reduction as long as she's hitting the target. And not to forget, this girl does a lot of poison damage, which is going to be helpful for Boris Codex, and she does true damage on top of all that. So even if you don't have Nastya, I think she's still going to be an amazing unit to add in with just Piercer teams for starter. And Nastya, obviously, definitely go for her. Moonton created this unit for a very specific reason, and that's for Abyss, and you can already see all the Esotericis buffs that have happened in recent times. I think it was all in preparation for Nastya to come. So definitely summon for them. But if you do already have teams like, Sokadins with like Ingrid and Hex, you probably can deal with the magic damage pretty well already. Maybe you don't need Nastya and Numera, but I would say still go for them because we never know whether there's new content that comes out that needs them. Because after all, at the end of the day, they did hint at Abyss 2 coming. So I don't know if Numera and Nastya are going to be way better there, replacing Hex, Ingrid, and Sokadins for that matter. So yeah, that's going to be for the video. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know down in the comment section if you're still confused if you should summon. I do think it's a go-go for these two units, especially for Numera, because I do think you need 3 copies for her to really unlock her potential. So even if you don't get A3 this time, it's good for us to start collecting copies right now. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And yeah, see you in the next one. Goodbye.